Hello, everyone. I'm here with Rhiannon, and um, we want to share this story that we have about her experience with one of our programs. But first off, I'm going to let her introduce herself. Rhiannon, how are you doing? And
Hello, I'm doing very well, thank you. Yeah, my name is Rhiannon. I am currently 23 and I live in London in the UK. Yes.
and what do you do?
Well, I mainly sing. Um, I just studied jazz in university and now I'm just working part-time as a nanny, looking after kids and also recording my music
Mm,
and yeah, doing stuff in my community. Yeah.
nice. That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, good luck with the music career. Yeah, love to hear that more people are going into it. Um, so yeah, what brings us here is to get to know a little bit about you and your experience in one of our programs, in High Noon. So, what program did you join, and why did you decide to join?
So I joined Ascend for Women and I joined it because I really enjoyed the core program, the marriage preparation. And yeah, I just really loved having those 8 weeks. And I was just looking for something else, something more. I wanted more. So I decided to join Ascend as well after that.
Mm. Okay, what did you want it more of?
Well, I just enjoyed it so much and the weekly calls and the weekly content and also that period of time where you can really work on yourself and you can really use this time as an opportunity to work on the things that you want to work on with people who might be in the same boat as you, but either way, you feel like you're not going through it alone. So we use each other to really motivate each other. And I really felt that in my calls.
Mm.
So yeah, I just wanted more of that environment. I think it was very sacred and very special to be sharing um, weekly calls with sisters from across the world. And yeah, we could really motivate and encourage each other and learn from each other too.
Mm, I see. And what were some of the things that you were working at?
Yeah, for me, I think, especially in COVID, I found it really difficult. I was suffering a lot from depressive episodes where I had this big dream of wanting to do music, and I have so many dreams for myself and things that I wanted to accomplish that I felt just so overwhelmed with everything. So I developed some really bad habits, um,
Mm.
like staying in bed a lot and subsequently being on my phone too much. And then when you're on the internet too much, lots of things come up, and then yeah, you start developing these really unhealthy habits. So I
Mm.
kind of wanted to continue to work on that because I still do go on my phone quite a lot. And yeah,
I
that's
see.
what I wanted to work on.
Hmm. And how was the experience of working on that while doing the program?
I think it was very effective for me because it's always when like I'm alone or when I have like nothing to do, or actually when I know I should be doing something. I tend to procrastinate a lot. But I feel like I'm alone in that experience where I'm procrastinating. Like the only person I'm hurting is myself, which I kind of flipped into making me think it was okay. I was like, oh, I'm just hurting myself. Like I just won't do as well as I thought I would. And I was kind of okay with that.
Mm.
And yeah, that obviously builds up over time, and then you feel more guilty, and then you feel shame from like so much guilt that you have and not being able to change and feeling like you don't really have any control over the things that you want to do. Okay, then just do the things that you want to do, but it actually, you start doubting yourself whether you can actually even do those things. So yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely relate. I think we all may be able to relate at some point regarding that. So, um, that's what you were dealing with, and how do you started, working on that? How was yeah, what helped you work on that?
Yeah, I think just being able to be honest and kind of confessing what you're really going through to somebody else, even though it's like a safe space and stuff, it's still really difficult. So I think when I started doing that in my calls and just being really honest and being like, actually, this happened this week and this happened yesterday and things like that, it was really difficult. Um,
Mm.
but I received a lot of grace from my sisters, and also I learned how to give myself a lot of grace too. And yeah, it was just nice to have open conversation with girls, because I think, especially as women, like we're so loving towards each other, and we really understand the struggle, and I think all of our struggles are so real and are so valid. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, it just encouraged me to do better, and encouraging each other to do better, because we know that that's what we're worth and that's what we're capable of. So it was just nice. Everyone had different issues as well. So hearing somebody else's issue, it's like, what? That's so crazy. I can't believe. No, there's no way. Like, you're amazing.
Mm.
Like, you can do this. Like, it's so easy to see that in each other. And that was also very nice to give and receive that encouragement and love, but to also receive it as well is very nice. So I think it's
Mm.
very important. It's very important to have these open conversations with people that you trust, and also bringing God into that conversation too is so important, because yeah, that's what, God created us to be, so powerful and wise and beautiful and intelligent. And, we're all so precious to God, and we're all God's precious daughters. So,
Mm.
really should embrace that and work on our self image as well, and
Mm.
acknowledge that, this is what God created us to be so
Mm.
like incredible, and that we can really do anything we want to do and still be graceful and loving at the same time. So yeah, I think women are so incredible, and I really felt that and learnt that during the program.
Hey guys, this is a quick sponsorship for our main program, Ascend. We get to do sponsorships, right? We're a nonprofit, we don't do any advertising, but our free program, Ascend, is just for you guys and gals who want to have sexual integrity. You're tired of the porn and masturbation cycle, and you want to break free from these shadows and the shame. So join us at heinlein.org to join the sexual integrity program called Ascend. We have groups, we have mentors, we have everything you need to succeed. All right, join us at heinlein.org, and I'll see you on the inside.
Wow. Yeah, that is very powerful to experience that, right? Because maybe you know it intellectually and you kind of say, yes, that's what I am, but you don't really truly feel it or truly believe it until you like go through it and experience it. And so, um, yeah, it seems like it was a really powerful experience to go through that program with these sisters and this moment of learning how to give yourself grace and also expressing grace to others as well, right? That are open to receive it while you're working on every issue, every situation that you have. Yeah, I think it's an amazing experience. I'm so glad that you had that. And what you mentioned earlier, right, that we tend to accept this narrative that, if I procrastinate and, I'm just hurting myself, it's not a problem, right? It's crazy that we accept that because we are hurting ourselves in a way, right? We are doing something that is not beneficial for us, and we are accepting that and just going with the flow of that. And the more we accept that, the less love we feel for ourselves. And that devolves into even more bad habits, more things that are not beneficial for us. And so it becomes a whole cycle, negative cycle, right, of things that we need to then work on eventually. So yeah, it's so true, Asime. And I'm so glad that you were able to work on that and see that, right? To like actually realize I'm not loving myself here when I allow myself to procrastinate, when I allow myself to accept less than what I deserve, right? So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
We all do that at some
it's
point.
such a crazy game, and it's still something I'm still working on, also acknowledging that like my thoughts are not my own and they don't necessarily define what my values are, because you can think anything, you can think the craziest thoughts, and like your brain is just constantly wired with different things, especially like just the fact that we have the access to the internet. There's so much information and so many ideas
Yeah.
that are just being fed to us all the time. So it's also acknowledging that, if you think these things, it's okay. That doesn't mean you haven't done anything though, so it's okay. That was really hard for me because sometimes like I'll drift off into thought and I'll be like, oh my gosh, why am I thinking that? Or like, I shouldn't be thinking about this, or where is this coming from? I feel like such a bad person even for having these thoughts. It's so crazy. So it's just accepting that, like thoughts are one thing, but it's the action that I take is more important. And like the worst thing that I could do to myself is let these thoughts dictate the action that I'm going to take in the future, or whether I don't take it at all. And I think that was the reason that, I fell into depression and struggled with these things so much, is because I really listened to my thoughts maybe a bit too much, which, yeah, feeds these core beliefs about myself and things like that. So I think one thing that I also realized is that my relationship to God was probably the most important thing out of everything, because when I started to really align myself with God's values, and I think I was thinking too much about myself, right? I think a lot of us are very self-critical, and we think, well, I'm not perfect in this area, I'm not perfect in this area, which can be a trap with these kinds of programs, right? Because we're so focused on what we don't have, or like, oh, this is where I want to be and this is where I am. And sometimes it's just so like, oh, like I hate it. So I think I had to take myself out of the perspective of me and really see myself from God's point of view. And from there, aligning myself to God and thinking less about, well, I have a physical body, I have all these things. Like that can separate me from God sometimes. So let me just not worry too much about this, and let me just focus on connecting myself to God, feeling grounded, having daily conversations with God at all times, just at random times. That's how I pray. I'm just like, hey God, that was crazy, right? Like, what was that about? Or, oh God, I've just been thinking about this situation, and things like that. Just inviting God in. I think that really helped with my self-concept. Yeah. And then through that, actually, the surface level problems that I have, like being on my phone or staying in bed or being tempted to watch pornography or waste time doing this, it became, those problems kind of disappeared by itself, actually, because I knew that it wasn't important and it's not worth my time. It's like, it's a balance between like the habit itself and the core belief behind the habit. I think you need to work on both. Like, yes, discipline yourself, switch off your phone, give yourself that time limit, like remove yourself from the situation, but also work on like your actual core beliefs and like how you view yourself is so important. Having the confidence, feeling like your life is your own and you have ownership over it and you feel beautiful, right? You need to feel beautiful. I think as women, like, I love being a woman, and it's so fun and it's so magical. So I think, yeah, everyone should embrace that and yeah, enjoy your life and make your life beautiful and share that with God and have give and take regularly and things will happen and things will flourish.
Yeah. I love that. I don't think I want to add anything to it because that's totally true. And I love that you were able to kind of, I guess, reconnect with your identity of being a woman, of being, God's daughter, and and like actually live that, actually be that because that's what we are, and being able to feel that you can make your life beautiful, that you can make your life enjoyable for you and for God and then for everyone around you, right? Um, that you were able to work in that and become aware of, how, the things that were um, challenging you that you were dealing with were taken away from that and you were able to put like the right focus on real, understanding who you are, right? Really, that you're not every thought that you think, that you're not what you consume, right? Or at least then starting changing the things that you consume so that they are aligned with what you want, right? With your values and creating this beautiful life that we can have, right? Um, yeah, I think that's so powerful and really worthwhile doing. Having the intention of really working on that because we don't realize how disconnected we are sometimes, because of daily life, responsibilities, whatever, and we just get stuck in the, as you said, the me perspective and the closest thing that we see, right, and then that kind of makes us lose focus of the bigger picture of who we are, of what we're doing here in life. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think it's really important to talk more about it, especially as women. I think we need to do that more often. That that work of appreciating the fact that we are women, and why are we so good as women, right? And it's good. Maybe we have some sort of theory about it, some part of the divine principle that talks about it, but it's also a lot better if you have the experience yourself of feeling that, of really like accepting, oh yes, God created everything for me, the woman, and so I should be able to enjoy it, right? I should be able to respond to that as well. Um, yeah. How was that journey to get to that idea and that acceptance and that belief that this is who you are and this is what you want as a woman?
Yeah, I think it feels quite new to me still, and it's something that I'm working on every day. Because obviously everybody's concept of womanhood and how they identify as a woman is very different. So, yeah, I think actually in the Bible, I found a lot of things specifically for women that were really like inspiring to me, actually, like the Proverbs 31, and it really, the things that they talk about is really interesting. I could pull up some quotes now, but maybe we don't have time. But yeah, so there was a quote saying that, and whenever I'm very much paraphrasing here, but it was something along the lines of, whenever she encounters a problem, she goes to her secret place and confide with God first. Things like that is really, really gave me an idea about how precious we are as women. And yeah, I think it was just very inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, definitely there's a lot of wisdom in in books like the Bible and many others, and it's good that I find it really interesting that you started like searching for those things, because you don't see that as much with sisters in general. There's this like lack of how can I say, maybe initiative to like really be curious about what does it mean to be a woman for me, right? And then define what type of woman I want to be, and and like go into every aspect of what does it mean to be a woman, right? Um and I think it's important that we do more of that job, like more of that exploration of becoming and being a woman, and yeah, and in that relationship with God, what does that mean? And in the future, with a future spouse, right? Um, so yeah, congratulations on that journey. I think it's really really good that you're doing this, especially if you're doing it before the blessing, because you're gonna be able to get into a future spousal relationship with a lot more clarity, right? And that's also really important. Um, so changing a little bit back the topic back to the program. Um, so I don't know. We've been talking about things that you learned during the program. Is there something else that you learned throughout the program that impacted you, that stayed with you?
Mm. Mm. I can't really think of anything else. Hmm. Yeah, I think the content of the Ascend program, especially, it was really interesting to see. I mean, how clear and transparent, especially about pornography, it was, because it's something that a lot of us go through, but we don't really know how to talk about it. So I think that general education as well is really interesting, because also brothers also go through this kind of thing too. So understanding, where we come from and where these thoughts come from and how it develops, and I think is so important, because there's stages and there's different things, and I think purity in general is such a broad thing, and it's not just, purity is not just about, sexual things either. It's also about how, yeah, like I mentioned before, your self-concept, how authentic can you be, how honest can you be, how vulnerable can you be. All these things are linked to purity. So yeah, this program was really really, really interesting for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So after having gone through the program, and going through your own journey of connecting to, I mean, you're still going through that journey, right? But what are some things that you've decided to do after that program?
I think immediately after the program, I wanted to do a condition, I think. So I did a cold shower condition, like, yeah, physically for
Mm,
1 week. And also bowing, because I heard bows really ground you. And I think, yeah, the theme that I really took away in general from after doing the program and after having these calls is that I really want to be grounded and present. So, yeah, literally what I did after was some conditions. And yeah, they were hard as well, but I think they were good. I think conditions really do help, and they do, mean something because, our ancestors are in the spirit world, and fathers in the spirit world. So the spirit world is really working. So, and it's
mm,
also repentance in a way too, of just, trying to unite your mind and body together. So yeah, that's what I did after. And also generally go on this more journey of, who do I really want to be as an individual? Because I think also as women, sometimes we tend to center men a little bit too much, or I don't know, there's like fantasies and stuff like that, and like, who is my dream husband, and all this. I think
mm,
everyone deserves their like Prince Charming as well, whatever that means to them. So, yeah, I think I said to myself, especially, I want to be grounded, I want to be present, I want to dive deeper into my identity as a woman and also create the life that I want before getting blessed. Like, I want
mm,
to absolutely enjoy my life as much as possible. And, I'm not even worried about that. It's not something that I'm looking forward to it, but it's not something I'm like stressing about or
mhm,
yeah, there's no negativity surrounding it because like I want to enjoy my life being single before I find my eternal spouse for eternity. So let me create the life that I really love, and I can share that with my husband. That was
mhm,
kind
mhm,
of what I really wanted to do after, and I have
mm.
been working on. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, looks like that. Yeah, that's amazing. And definitely agree. And that's something that we want all should be doing as single individuals, working on, creating the best life that you can while single, and then sharing that eventually with your spouse. So yeah, that's awesome. And I'm glad that you had that um, intentionality to really, connect with God and who you are and who you want to be, right? And start taking action towards that. Because it shows in your, you know, in the way that you talk, in the way that you engage with us, that you're happy, that you are centered, and that you're doing what you want to do. So that's amazing, and that is what we want to be able to help everyone do in their programs, that they start taking action towards creating the life that they want to live, right? A high new life, as we say, right? Yeah, and connected to our values, and just continuing on that journey. I don't know, is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap up?
Yeah, I just think I'm very grateful for High Noon and for everybody involved with High Noon, and that it's really a group effort, and we can really help each other to continue this life of growth and development. And yeah, I think I really feel so connected to my brothers and sisters around the world, and I'm really praying for everybody. And yeah, I'm really excited to see everyone in the future and how things go. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Rhiannon, for sharing your experience, your story, and your journey with us. And yeah, hope to see somebody out there that is listening to this realize that they can join a group and they can start changing their lives today if they want. So yeah, thank you so much, and see you in the next one.
Thank you.
Hey there. I hope you enjoyed that episode. As you can tell by my face, a magical experience for myself. I hope it was magical for you. I hope you got a lot out of it. Let me invite you to the Ascend program. I want to take a little bit of time just to make sure that you understand what this thing is. You see, every few months we open up registration so that people can join our porn recovery program. If you have any issues at all with porn, even, it's just once a month, I just masturbate every once in a while, this is all an opportunity for you to figure out, why do you do these things? Why is it that you run away from yourself? Why is it that you use sex as a form of escape rather than a form of connection to God? There's so much that you can learn about yourself if you prioritize the process of learning. And that's all the Ascend program seeks to do, is to help you to understand yourself at the highest possible level regarding sexuality, about your unhealthy habits and replacing those with healthy habits so that your sexuality aligns you with God and your ideals. So please consider joining. Go to highnoon.org. It's right there at the top of our website. Register. Get yourself in the Ascend program. If you've been thinking about it, do it. If you haven't been thinking about it, do it. Just do it. Thanks so much, everybody. See you next week.